10, Blackbeard, the pirate's pirate. A rough-looking, no-good, rotten privateer who sailed the seas looking for booty to plunder, and I'm not talking about chest of gold. The captain of the Queen Anne's Revenge, a mighty vessel with enough cannons to make any sailor sweat, as well as fierce and intimidating appearances. Captain Blackbeard was said to even tangle fuses in his facial hair and ignite them, making his face appear as if it were in a cloud of fiery smoke. That is crazy. That's like beyond like Post Malone, man. It's a crazy look. While it may seem like theatrics, it was more of a scare tactic, and he was one pirate that was for sure to be feared. Scary dude. Don't cross Blackbeard. The Queen Anne's Revenge. Number 9, Francis Drake. Sic Parvis Magna, greatness from small beginnings. That may sound familiar to PlayStation fans of the Uncharted series. Francis Drake was an English explorer, captain, and Navy expert. He's most well known for travels and circumnavigation. That's all fine and dandy. However, Francis Drake's expeditions weren't exactly without scandal, as they were also pirating expeditions, as the Queen had basically instructed him to plunder Spanish ships and ports on his way. Which he did. Well, why not? The Queen says you gotta do it, you gotta do it. His biggest prize came in March 1579 when he seized the Spanish treasure ship, the Nuestra Señora de la Concepción, and liberated it of a dozen chests of coins, 80 pounds of gold, and 26 tons of silver. Wow, that's a lot of loot. He even shared a lot of his booty with his fellow mates and financial backers. Very Robin Hood of you, sir. I commend, yeah, that's nice. Number 8, Black Bart. Bartholomew Roberts may have been the most successful pirate, at least according to vessels captured, with somewhere ranging a total of 400 ships in his lifetime. Estimated, of course. A vicious and brutal man, he was a natural-born pirate. He spent most of his life on pirate ships before becoming captain himself. He adopted the pirate code and may have been the first pirate to fly colors. Interesting. One thing for sure, there would never be a Welshman so nasty as Black Bart ever again. He was operating all over the globe, America, Canada, South America, Africa. He eventually would meet his end in battle, but was gallantly remembered for his piracy by other pirates.
Number 7, Mary Read, aka Mark Read, was an English pirate born in 1685 and among the few women known to have been convicted and engaged in piracy at the height of the golden age of pirates. Again, like Anne, she was a toughie. From the age of 12, she found herself disguising herself to work on ships as a gunner, laborer, and gunpowder handler. Read's ship was unfortunately taken by pirates, whom she willingly joined, but then rejoined her crew in a mutiny. In 1720, she then met and joined pirate Calico Jack and his companion, Anne Bonny, who both believed her to be a man. She joined the crew and eventually gained the love and trust of both of them, and her time as a pirate was successful but short-lived. Although Jack Rackham was swiftly executed, both Read and Bonny were pregnant and received delayed sentences. Yeah, again, where are the movies? Number 6, Henry Avery, aka the Arch Pirate, aka the King of Pirates. Avery was famous for being one of the few pirate captains to escape with his loot without being arrested or killed in battle. Mid-1690s, Avery's pirate career only lasted 2 years though. His exploits captured the public's imagination so fast that it inspired others to become pirates and spawned tons of literary works around him. That being said, he wasn't like a cool badass pirate. This guy was rotten. Like, did things that are terrible to people. It's cool and all being a pirate and stuff, but it's not all Jack Sparrow type stuff all the time. This guy was feared by the feared people, you know? He was cruel. His fate was never known as he was captured. He just kind of disappeared. Number 5, Howell Davis. Howell Davis was a Welsh pirate born in 1690. His pirate career lasted only 11 months, from July 1718 to June 1719, when he was ambushed and killed. His ships were the Cadogan, the Buck, the St. James, and the Rover. Davis captured more than 15 English and French ships in those 11 months. Whoa. Having enjoyed the short career, this young pirate captured the entire Caribbean's attention with his navigational skills and daring nature to take on ships much larger than his own. He was pretending to be a legitimate privateer, commanding naval ships until he snuck on and held them up. He would fly black flags from ships in the area to pretend that he had a bigger fleet. When he tried to kidnap the governor of Portugal, acting like he was a Royal Navy pirate hunter, they caught on though, and he was ambushed. Ballsy pirate, very ballsy. Sneaking around all Assassin's Creed Black Flag style ship to ship. Dude, I love it.
Number 3, Pirate Queen. When people talk about pirates, they think about the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean and the pirates that loomed about that part of the world during the golden age of piracy. However, piracy doesn't mean nice beaches and palm trees. There's still pirates around today, especially around the African coast. There's a lot of pirates there. I don't think a lot of people realize that. However, China in the past was no different from that. A famous pirate from the time was Zhang Yisao, a Chinese woman who inherited a pirate empire from her late husband. She worked with it too. She expanded her husband's empire and became the Empress of the Seas. At one point, she commanded 24 ships personally and oversaw a force of 1,400 pirates. She unified other pirates to join her empire with a fleet estimated to be around 400 junks, which is a fancy name for ships, and around 40,000 pirates, all loyal to the Pirate Queen. She engaged in combat with the East India Company, Portugal, and the Qing Dynasty. She was a bad woman. Bad woman. Number 1, William the Kid. We've mentioned everything from cannons and ships to swashbuckling adventures, but what haven't we mentioned? Well, it would be the adventures of William the Kid. Okay, yes, pirate, privateer, bad dude, yes. However, he may be responsible for the most stereotypical pirate traits. For example, the buried treasure, X marks the spot. That's kind of cool, actually.
Number 10. Henry Morgan. Henry Morgan ruled the Caribbean and people feared his name. Mid-1600s. He's most famous for his attacks on Spanish vessels and plundering and raiding towns. He had a powerful Jamaican fleet, and folk stories claim that he may have overtaken more than 300 vessels and ships during his entire life as a pirate. Massive raids, 30 ships, 1,500 men easy, town to town, stealing enormous wealth. A pirate's pirate. He was later arrested and taken to England, but there he was actually pardoned, knighted by Charles II, and sent back to Jamaica to continue his place amongst the plantations. Again, these were not cool pirates. Most of them were really evil people who believed in some pretty evil things. But again, I'm not going to start judging a pirate on doing bad things. It's a pirate, so. Number 8. Anne Bonny. Anne was an Irish pirate operating out of the Caribbean and one of the few infamous female pirates in recorded history. She grew up, married a nice sailor, and moved to Nassau, Bahamas. There she met and fell in love with the infamous pirate John Calico Jack Rackham and took on a life of pirating and plundering the 7 seas with him. Dude, that's sick. Why aren't there like 14 movies about her? She met another pirate, and the small crew of 3 grew to one of the most infamous and revered outfits of the oceans. Anne Bonny wore men's jackets, long trousers, a handkerchief tied around her head, machetes, pistols, like 12th Night, but like the real deal, dude. She was ultimately captured alongside Rackham in 1720. The crew was sentenced to death, but Bonny, being pregnant at the time, was pardoned for about 9 months.
Number 7, Grace O'Malley. The golden age of piracy was a long time ago, so yeah, there's not going to be that many female pirates. It's how it goes. However, the female pirates that were around were pretty nasty, and it seems whenever a fair lass gets behind the helm of a ship, they seem to do very well. Like Grace O'Malley. Even at a young age, she was showing signs of rebellious leadership. She was stubborn and in her ways. She cut her hair in defiance as a youth. The girl was stubborn, she wouldn't listen. That grit is what made her a very successful pirate, and to this day, remembered to the Irish as a hero. She's got a couple statues around. I don't have a statue, I wish I did. Number 5, Rachel Wall. A very interesting case here, as this may be the only American woman to try her luck at piracy for the time. A runaway at a young age, she eventually found herself sailing the seas with a group of unsavory characters. What makes Rachel join this less than reputable folks on the sea here? Well, it's actually her siren song tactics. Extremely clever and lethal. Rachel Wall's crew and ship were opportunists. Whenever a storm had come through the area, they would brave the storm and then dress the ship as if it had received major damage or just really look out of luck from the storm. Then take the ship and place it where they knew other vessels full of loot would be passing by. The crew hid, and then they placed the fair lass on the main deck. She lured in ships to their doom, for after they got close, the charade was uncovered and the opposing ship was boarded. It's actually very smart. I wouldn't think of that, because you see a woman out at sea, you gotta go help her, and then there she is, and then, arr, give me your money. I don't know, that's what pirates do, right? They say that.
Number 3, Calico Jack. Calico Jack, John Rackham, was one of the most unique pirates during the golden age of piracy. Born in England, not very charismatic, and failed to get an enormous wealth, but what he did go down in history for was his flag designs and for his 2 female pirate crew members slash love interests whom he shared romantic relationships with, camaraderie with, and sword fights back to back with. He started on a small crew pirating small vessels until he stole a much larger ship named the Kingston and became the captain of his crew. While in port, he met a young lady by the name of Anne Bonny, a married woman whom he'd run off to sea with. The flag commonly associated with Rackham depicts the classic white skull above crossed swords on a black background, and Rackham is credited with inventing and designing the quote, Jolly Roger first design. Dude, artist, lover, pirate, again, where are these movies? Number 2, Qing Shi. Born in 1775 in Guangdong province, Qing was thrown into work as she was famous within the province for her beauty, hospitality, and intelligence, attracting a certain pirate Zheng Yi in 1801 who asked for her hand in marriage. She agreed, but only if she was paid a heavy price and she could command his ship and crew. She began implementing strict guidelines about equality, status or sex aside. Qing took full control with progressive policies, and even other fleets joined her pirate empire, creating the largest pirate fleet in history known as the Red Flag Fleet. We're talking thousands she commanded. She had 3 rules. If you sneak off, you're out. If you steal, you're out. And if you harass women, you're out. Coined the Pirate Queen, Qing even broke up the Confederation in 1810 and negotiated a deal with the Chinese government. The pirates were pardoned for their crimes, allowed to keep their vessels, and even had a place amongst the Chinese army.